Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the history and value of Lincoln Wheat penny coins, one of the most collected coins in the United States. Minted from 1919 to 1980, these pennies feature the iconic wheat ears on the reverse and have become famous for their key dates, mint errors, and collectible variations. Let's take a closer look at the wheat penny and find out which ones might be worth more than just a cent. The 1935 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint and is a part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series, which began in 1909. This coin features the original design by Victor David Brenner on the obverse, showing the profile of President Abraham Lincoln facing right. Above Lincoln's head appears the inscription "In God We Trust," to the left is the word liberty, and to the right is the date 1935, with no mint mark beneath it, indicating it was struck in Philadelphia. The reverse side of the coin displays the classic wheat ears design that was used from 1909 to 1958. At the center is the denomination 1 cent, with United States of America directly below it. The phrase "e pluribus unum," which means out of many, one arches, across the top. Flanking both sides of the lettering are two stylized wheat stalks curving inward, symbolizing agricultural abundance and tying the coin's design to the themes of American productivity and resilience. The coin is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which was the standard composition for pennies before World War II. Coins from this era, especially those that have circulated for many decades, often develop a darker tone due to oxidation of the copper. The surface might show a variety of brown shades, depending on how the coin was stored or handled over the years. In circulated condition, this 1935 Lincoln Wheat penny likely shows signs of moderate wear across both sides. On the obverse, Lincoln's hair, cheek, and jawline are usually the first features to flatten with wear. Some detail in the coat or collar may also be worn smooth. The date remains visible and legible, though possibly a bit softened at the edges. On the reverse, the wheat stalks might appear less detailed, with the tips and inner lines beginning to blend into the surrounding surface. The inscriptions are still readable, but the sharpness of the font may be reduced due to circulation. The Philadelphia Mint struck more than 245 million Lincoln cents in 1935, which means this date is relatively common, particularly in circulated grades. As such, the coin is readily available to collectors and is typically valued at a modest premium above face value when found in average circulated condition. Higher grades or coins with unusual errors may attract more interest and higher values, but standard worn examples like this one are primarily appreciated for their historical and sentimental value. Though not rare, the 1935 Lincoln penny represents an important period in U.S. history. It was minted during the Great Depression, a time of significant economic struggle and political change in the United States. These coins passed through the hands of people living through difficult years, and each carries with it a piece of that broader American story. As such, coins from this time are often included in collections not only for their numismatic interest, but also for their cultural significance. Collectors of Lincoln Wheat pennies often pursue a full date and mint mark set from 1909 through 1958, while the 1935 issue is not among the most difficult to obtain. Finding one in reasonably attractive condition with all major details intact and minimal damage is still a desirable goal for many. Circulated coins like this can serve as affordable entry points into the hobby or be used to fill a spot in a classic Lincoln Cent album. Overall, this 1935 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark, even in circulated condition, is a piece of American coinage history. It continues to be appreciated by collectors for its design, its connection to the era in which it was minted, and its place within the broader context of the Lincoln Cent series. Even after decades of use, it remains a tangible artifact of everyday life in early 20th century America. Next up we have the 1937 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark was produced at the Philadelphia Mint and is part of the iconic Lincoln Cent series, that began in 1909. This particular coin features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's image faces to the right, accompanied by the inscriptions "In God We Trust" along the upper rim, "Liberty" to the left of his portrait, and the date 1937 on the right. As with all Philadelphia minted cents from this period, no mint mark is present beneath the date. The reverse of the coin displays the classic wheat ears design used from 1909 to 1958. Centered between the two wheat stalks is the denomination, 1 cent in bold lettering, with United States of America directly beneath. The Latin phrase "e pluribus unum," which translates to "out of many," arches across the top above the wheat ears. This reverse design emphasizes strength and unity through agricultural symbolism and was a central visual theme of early 20th century U.S. coinage. Made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, this coin carries the standard bronze composition typical of pennies minted before World War II. In circulated condition, a 1937 Lincoln penny typically exhibits where that gradually softens the details on both the obverse and reverse. On the obverse, Lincoln's facial features, such as the cheekbone, jawline, and hair, may show signs of smoothing, with fine lines and textures diminished from years of handling. The high points of the design are often the first to fade, especially on coins that have spent significant time in circulation. The reverse side usually reveals similar signs of use. The tops of the wheat stalks might appear flattened or partially merged into the field of the coin, and the text, though likely still legible, could show minor fading or rounding of the edges. Despite this, the general layout and identifying features of the coin remain recognizable, allowing it to retain its historical and collector interest. In terms of mintage, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 309 million Lincoln cents in 1937, making this date relatively common among wheat pennies. As a result, circulated examples are readily available to collectors and typically carry only a small premium over face value, depending on their condition. The value may be slightly higher for examples that are particularly well preserved or those with unique characteristics such as die variations or errors. Coins from the late 1930s are frequently included in Lincoln penny collections as part of a full date and mint mark set spanning the entire wheat penny series. While the 1937 issue is not among the rarest, its historical placement during the recovery years following the Great Depression gives it contextual significance. It serves as a quiet but steady reminder of a transformative time in American life and economics. For beginning collectors, coins like this offer an affordable and accessible entry point into the world of numismatics. They present a real, tangible piece of history that has traveled through decades of commerce, likely passing through many hands and places before finding a home in a collection. Even in circulated condition, each of these coins holds a unique story of the past, from the pockets of factory workers and farmers to store tills and piggy banks. The appeal of the 1937 Lincoln wheat penny lies not just in its copper composition or the simplicity of its design, but in its representation of enduring value and American resilience. Though small in size and modest in monetary worth, it is part of a larger narrative of continuity, production, and shared experience. Whether housed in a coin folder or simply appreciated as a loose piece, it remains a meaningful and well-loved part of American numismatic history. Next up we have the 1946 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in Denver and is part of the well-known Lincoln cent series that began in 1909 and continued with the wheat reverse design until 1958. On the obverse, the coin features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner. The inscriptions include "In God We Trust" above Lincoln's head, "Liberty" on the left, and the year 1946 with the D mint mark just below the date, signifying its production at the Denver Mint. The reverse of the coin displays two stylized wheat ears flanking the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. At the top, the motto "E pluribus unum" is engraved in smaller font. This classic reverse design symbolizes agricultural strength and unity and was a staple of American coinage in the early to mid-20th century. The 1946 penny is composed primarily of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition gives it the distinctive reddish-brown hue typical of earlier Lincoln cents. In good condition, a 1946 penny may show modest wear on the high points of the design, but retains all its major features with clear, readable text and mostly intact details on Lincoln's face and the wheat ears. The rim should remain strong, and no significant damage or corrosion should be present, though some softening of finer features like Lincoln's hair or the fine lines in the wheat ears may be visible. This particular issue is not rare, with a high mintage of over 315 million coins struck at the Denver Mint. As a result, most 1946 wheat pennies are relatively common, especially in circulated or average collectible grades. While it doesn't command a high value in the coin market, it still holds interest for collectors seeking to complete a full date and mint mark set of Lincoln wheat cents, or those with a personal or historical connection to the post-World War, a period in which the coin was produced. The 1946 penny carries some historical significance as it was minted just after the end of World War II, during a time of transition and rebuilding in the United States. Economic adjustments, industrial shifts, and the return of soldiers to civilian life marked this period. Coins from this era symbolize resilience, prosperity, and a changing American landscape. Overall, a 1946 Lincoln wheat penny in good condition, though not rare or particularly valuable, serves as a meaningful piece of mid-20th century American history. It represents both the everyday utility of small change and the enduring interest in preserving and appreciating the past through coin collecting. Next up we have the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in Denver. It is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series that began in 1909 and continued with the wheat reverse through 1958. This coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. The inscriptions include "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left of Lincoln's profile, and the year 1956 to the right, followed by the D Mint mark just below the date indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse design, which remained unchanged since the series' inception, displays the stylized wheat ears, one on each side of the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these words is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. The wheat ears represent agricultural productivity and the unity of the nation, a strong visual symbol of the American spirit during the early to mid-20th century. Composed primarily of 95% copper with 5% tin and zinc, the 1956 penny has a reddish-brown appearance in its original state, though coins in circulation often tone to darker brown shades over time. A coin in good condition retains the major design features with moderate wear. Lincoln's facial details, such as his jawline and hair, may show softening, and the high points of the wheat stalks may be worn, but the lettering and date are fully visible and easily read. The Denver Mint produced over 1.098 billion of these coins in 1956, making it one of the higher mintage wheat pennies. Due to this high number, the 1956 wheat penny is generally common in circulated grades and readily available to collectors. It does not command a premium in lower grades, but coins in uncirculated or near mint condition can still hold collectible value, especially those with strong original color and minimal blemishes. This coin came out during a relatively stable period in American history. The mid-1950s were marked by post-war prosperity, economic expansion, and cultural shifts as the country entered the modern era. Coins like the 1956 wheat penny are everyday artifacts from that time, reflecting the economic circulation and the daily lives of Americans. Even though small in size and face value, coins from this era played an essential role in commerce and helped document transitions in American life. For collectors, the 1956 penny is often acquired as part of a complete Lincoln wheat cent set. It is a relatively easy date to find in good condition, making it ideal for beginners and educational purposes. Many young collectors encounter this date early in their journey into numismatics, drawn by its classic design and its place in the nearly 50-year run of the wheat reverse. Overall, the 1956 D. Lincoln Wheat penny in good condition is a straightforward but meaningful addition to any Lincoln cent collection. It offers a glimpse into American mid-century coinage and holds sentimental and historical value even if its market value remains modest. The coin reminds us of a time when pennies were a more critical part of everyday transactions, and its continued survival shows the durability of U.S. copper coinage and the enduring interest in preserving history through simple, tangible items like this one. Next up we have the 1950 for D. Lincoln Wheat penny is a classic example of mid-20th century American coinage. Minted in Denver, as indicated by the D mint mark beneath the date on the obverse, this coin was produced during the post-war era when the United States was experiencing economic growth and social change. The obverse features a right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design created by Victor David Brenner that has remained on the penny for over a century. Around Lincoln's portrait are the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 1954 with the mint mark to the right. The reverse side carries the iconic wheat ears design, which was standard from 1909 through 1958. Flanking the central inscriptions, 1 cent and United States of America are two stylized wheat stalks, representing strength and agricultural abundance. The Latin motto "E pluribus unum" is positioned above the central text. This reverse design is widely admired for its simplicity and symbolism, offering a window into the values and aesthetics of early 20th century American culture. Composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the coin has a warm, reddish-brown appearance when well preserved. However, as this particular coin is noted to be in circulated condition, some of that luster is likely diminished. Coins that have circulated extensively often exhibit signs of wear, such as smoothing on Lincoln's hair and jawline, faded lines in the wheat ears, and possibly minor nicks or surface marks. Despite the wear, the primary design elements and inscriptions are typically still clear and readable, which helps maintain the coin's historical and collectible significance. The Denver Mint struck over 251 million of these coins in 1954, making this a fairly common issue within the wheat penny series. While it does not command a high premium in circulated grades, it remains popular among collectors who seek to complete a full set of Lincoln wheat cent or who are interested in U.S. coinage history. Its commonness also makes it an accessible entry point for novice collectors and an educational piece for learning about mint marks, coin design, and the role of coins in daily American life. The 1950 for D penny reflects a time in American history when coinage was transitioning between generations of designs and usage. In 1954, coins were still made with a high copper content, giving them a heavier feel and more durable quality than many later pennies. These older coins, particularly wheat pennies, often evoke nostalgia and offer a physical link to a past era, when pocket change could buy a few pieces of candy or a ride on public transportation. Although the circulated condition means the coin has been well used, this also adds to its narrative. It likely passed through countless hands over the decades, each with its own story. Every nick and worn edge tells of its utility and presence in everyday commerce. While not rare or especially valuable in monetary terms, the coin's historical importance and longevity contribute to its enduring appeal. In sum, the 1950 for D Lincoln Wheat penny in circulated condition is a representative artifact of mid-century America. It's a reminder of a period marked by industrial growth, post-war optimism, and a society slowly transitioning into the modern age. Even with wear from years of use, the coin remains a tangible piece of that history and continues to be appreciated by collectors, educators, and those with an interest in American heritage.